Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF wrap-up, and a bit of a correction day on this Tuesday, and we're now at the 9th of November, 2021. Now, I do fly back into Chicago tomorrow, so I will not be putting an update out for you tomorrow night. How could I? By the time I'd get home and everything, it's going to be quite late. It'll probably be 8, 9 at night before I even walk in the door with luck. I don't know what to expect at the airports, obviously, now, with all the people coming back in from international travel, as I'll be doing. But we did get a bit of a correction. You see it, NARC, Microsoft, Tesla. Look at that, down $139, almost a 9-10% drop today alone. So, you know, obviously Elon Musk asked what to do. He's going to have to sell what he said. I can't imagine him not. That could be an SEC problem for him. But I read also that the way his options get vested, he needed to raise some capital to pay taxes on them, because some of them won't be tax exempt the way that it's working. There's an article in there. I think today it was in Bloomberg, but I'm not sure. So let's go and take a look at the chart action and see what we got. And we'll start with Tesla and stay on it. Remember, I told you I wouldn't be surprised if we fill a gap right in through here in this area. You're trying to head towards it. It doesn't have to be filled, but it's a likely target. The market stepped out of its uptrend today. Now it's got a pattern of a higher high and a lower low. Where did it go to? And try to hold the 18-day average of closes, what I call the line in the sand. If it wants to extend again, wouldn't be surprised if you come right into that area. When you take a look at what you've got in Bollinger Bands after this big run-up, now they're not in play at this point in time. I don't think they're in play on the upside or downside. And you lost the embedded reading, which also tells me you've hit your target. So could you drop a bit more? Sure you could. Is the market, if it got down here, a good buy? I would say it would be. But that's not how I trade. How I teach you to trade is that when the market's over the 18-day average, I'm bullish. Under it, I've got a bearish bias. I look to see if that's filtering the swing line that has a trend, which it is not. It is not trending. You stepped out of an uptrend, and that's where you're at. When we look at Apple at this point, notice how Apple's breaking down slowly. I look for good support in here. Now, if you had a real bad piece of news, I would imagine it could slip to 146.08, but I'm really not looking for that. I'm looking for the support to show itself around the 149.5 area. You'll be out of the downtrend most likely if you can clear back over 150, 157. But remember, when I say a downtrend, while the swing line is down, as long as you stay over that 18-day average of closes, you keep the bias up. In ARC, lower highs, lower lows. So the market was able to stay for just a brief period of time over the 200-day average. You see that. Now it's pulled back into the support of the 18 and the 100, and momentum broke down. Did we ever embed? So if you step with me right here, both numbers not over 80, but they are day 1 there, day 2, day 3. Fully embedded, still embedded. Yesterday, you lose the embedded reading. Generally, when that happens, you're going back to the 18-day average of closes, and look what happened. That's exactly what the market did today. And by the way, I was in a conference today, yes, from Mexico. I still did business out of London with John Bollinger. Very fascinating. I got mentioned in it at the beginning. I was quite pleased about that. And fascinating to see what he's doing and his different theories. And I knew most of them as to what he's doing, some of the other ways that he worked. And, of course, he uses RSI. I use the slow stochastic. I happen to like the personality of the slow stochastic much better than the RSI. As you can see, the market fighting a lot of resistance up here at the upper Bollinger Band. It's still embedded. I think the pros will buy on breaks and bail if they get a reading under 79 in the slow stochastic. On the XSD, I've told you this is too hard to catch now. On the break, give it another day or so. If the market holds on a breakdown, let's assume it broke into this 230 area, just making up a number, but giving it, and it stayed with an embedded reading. I don't see how you couldn't be a bit friendly, that market. As I look at what's going on in Cannabis, you've gone from the lower band to the upper band in the middle of nowhere, just hanging around. Are we trending? Not really. You got a lower low, higher high. I don't see a thing to do there. The home builders are on fire. higher lows, higher highs. You never buy over an upper Bollinger Band, but I think yesterday the pros were buying under the upper Bollinger Band, and today bailing against it on some of it, but I think they'll keep buying that pattern. In the energy sector, you've got a lower low, higher high, and I pointed out to you how narrow you're getting here. I am getting more and more bullish. I think that long term, you're going to be looking at these markets substantially higher over time. Here's a key word here, over time. And the reason I say that is we're not going to see enough production of oil to make up for the normalcy that the world's getting back to as COVID gets beaten down. And as COVID gets beaten down in a number of ways, medicine, more people getting vaccinated, workflow is going to start happening, demand for the supply chain is going to continue, and energy is part of that. Timing, of course, is everything. You have an overbought market that is not trending at the upper Bollinger Band. I'll wait my turn for the setups. Emerging markets, where do you think I would think you'd have resistance? Right at the 18-day average, the first challenge of it, and that's certainly what's happening right now. We'll see if the market can lift itself over that and give us some better news, but it's not right now. In GLD, okay, the market's getting ahead of itself. Lower low, higher high. You never buy over an upper Bollinger Band. Am I bullish? Oh, yeah. Am I getting even more bullish? Oh, yeah. Why? Because you're starting to get crossovers. You're getting the 18-day about to cross over the 200, and probably sometime in the next week or so, if price action just stays stable, forget going higher, I bet that the 100-day starts getting ready to cross the 200. And those are key moving average numbers. When I look at gold miners, well, today is an important day. Until today's low of 32.57 is taken out, the odds favor the market's going to come up and try to challenge right up here. Take out that 32.57, you got to go back to the drawing board, but that's what I'm thinking. COPEX, this is copper, still going to fight a battle. You know, you got to see what the big user, 50% of the world copper, and that's China, is going to do. Now, we know that they're trying to get more and more energy out and more things to be done in their economy. Copper's one of them. They want the factories to run. The question is, smelting won't happen. What are they going to be able to do to consume all this? That becomes the question. In TLT, higher lows, higher highs. You have nailed the people that got bearish in front of the FOMC saying, okay, the interest rates, they're coming forward in 2022. I hope you remember right after that what I said. Trying to guess in November what's going to happen next year, come on. I love when people do that because you can't. I have enough trouble figuring out the next hour. They're trying to figure out a year from now. Let's leave it to say that it's a nice academic exercise, but if you're trading, you want to be looking at these markets that you're in now, not what next year might hold. And I think that when you do that, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. Last, in the euro currency, if the market can clear 108.08, this right back here, that number that you're seeing, then I think you've made a bottom. Obviously, you hit the lower Bollinger Band. I said that's where I thought the pros would cover their shorts. I think they have. You're building something here. Is it a base or a top? We'll let the market tell us. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll see you all Thursday afternoon with your market wrap-up. Take care now. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well
Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.